Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and I just finished a nap, which means I'm wide awake and ready to do some writing and eat some cookies. I have not finished all 9 boxes of Girl Scout cookies from last week.
Oh,
I
good.
mean, even I have my limits. So I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, and we're doing productivity sprints today. We'll be chatting about how our projects are going, and then we'll be doing 20-minute writing productivity sprints. If you're writing, you can write with us. You can take a nap. You can read. It's Sunday. No obligation to get anything like productive done. But if you choose to, you're welcome to. So with me today, I have Doc Coleman and Sako Toomey. Say hello to the nice people.
Hello, nice people.
Yo, what's up?
I waited for you to have food in your mouth. I mean, it is a snack stream.
It is.
So,
Almost done.
yeah. What is everybody working on? I'm
Substack for once.
Oh, yeah. You're back to Substack. Nice. Kindred of Kali edits.
Yes, I'm continuing edits on Kindred of Kali. I had considered taking this time to do my taxes, but no, I want to finish the edits because I want to get this book.
Yeah, I hear you. When are you aiming to have it out by?
This year, but
sure, yeah,
really 2 years ago. But
by 2023.
Yeah. Let's do the time warp again. Yeah, but it's like I'm almost done with this pass. I know I can do a cleanup pass.
Sure.
Relatively quickly.
Nice.
But it's just I need to go and I need to finish the text so I can go bug my cover artist about getting me a cover.
Sure.
It's like I'm going to do the layout for this myself. So it's like once I've got the text finalized and I have a cover, I should be able to put together really fast. So I'd love to be able to have this out by Balticon, but we'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah.
TikTok.
It's amazing when you're publishing independently what you can do if you have all the pieces. But
what is honka?
Where did that come from?
That is my wife sitting next to me on the couch. That is her text sound. That and what I tend to refer to it as the clowns are calling.
The clowns are calling. Yes.
I pretty much have notification sounds turned off and just have call sounds turned on. So if you're not calling me, I will see it when I look at my phone, which is probably once every 20 seconds, unless I'm in the middle of a book, in which case the Kindle app hides those notifications at the top.
Most of the time, she's looking at a book.
Sure. I mean, the Kindle app is basically like looking at a book, unless you're a diehard Dead Tree edition.
Like I said, she's got the Kindle. She's got her Mac Mini in front of her with her Kindle app. She's also got an iPad in her phone. She's multi-processing.
As one does. So, okay. So yesterday I did some writing via voice to text while like in my car because I wanted to get some words in. And
how did that go?
I'm going to start off my sprint by editing the bleep out of that so it's coherent and then moving forward.
So the bleep came up quite a lot while you were driving.
I mean,
well, it is DC traffic or greater DC.
Eventually I realized that like it was not getting enough of my words while on the mount and I had to hold it closer to my face. It was missing like every other sentence. And I'm like, it's never been this bad. Like walking around my neighborhood with the wind howling like it is today, and it usually does better than that. So I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, update on the flat tire from last week. I got it repaired at the same place I bought the tires, and it was free.
Cool.
It was fixable because the issue was in the tread and not in the wall, which physics they're stronger out than
Yes.
down
The
than out.
tread is built to take more damage, while if the side walls take damage, it will get worse, guaranteed.
Pretty much. So, yeah. So because it was fixable and because I got the tires there, they're like, okay, yeah, no, that's free. But I did get my inspection done while I was there.
Yay! Inspection.
A lot of the good.
Go ahead.
Say a lot of the good tire places, if it's minor and it's not going to take them very long, they will just go ahead and fix it and get you on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So apparently sometime during the pandemic, one of my inspections ran out, but like for some reason in Virginia, we have emissions and safety inspection, and one of them you can renew for 2 years and one you can renew for 3 years.
Yeah, so, like, it's so confusing. I wish they all would be like 2 years or whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, sometime during the pandemic, one of them expired and got 2 months off from the other one. And they're like, oh, don't you want to wait till June? I'm like, no, let's line these suckers up. I'm okay paying 2 months early for not having to remember to do this again in 2 months.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, let's pop into the comments. Rita's here. Hello.
Hi, Rita.
And Sarah's here.
Good old Sarah.
Miss Tree is here. So let's see. Rita is finishing up in Canva and some SM posts, and then edits, and has to remind herself no rewrites. And Miss Tree would like to reassure you that tax extensions are good until October if you need them. I'd like to not need them, but it's good to have that in my back pocket.
I mean, I try really hard to make sure that I get a token refund for my taxes.
Sure.
Instead of having to pay, because I don't want surprise tax bill that I have to pay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do extensions. I just want to get it done.
I don't blame you. So plus then, you're just pushing the stress to later, not necessarily.
Yeah.
If it was something that took a long time, that would be one thing, but usually it's no matter when you do it, it will take the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Only if you have to push it off, then you have to fill out that form as well.
Yep. And if your current estimate has you paying, you still have to pay.
Yeah.
So you could end up paying by April 15th, and then having time to do your taxes and find out you've got deductions, you were actually due a refund, and then having to send that paperwork in to get them to give you back the money you just paid, plus the refund that you were owed.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that doesn't seem worth it to me.
No.
So, okay.
Dwan.
Popping into the comments. Dwan said hi, or I should say hi, I suppose. Yeah, you should. Although we don't mind lurkers. If you're hanging out and you never want to say hi, that's totally fine. I understand some people do it for privacy. Some people do it because they're creepy stalkers, and some people do it because they don't want to have a YouTube or Twitch account and just want to watch.
Or they're watching it on a TV, which doesn't really allow you to do any of those things.
The chatty bits.
And occasionally we've got people who want to support the stream but aren't really interested in the subject matter, who come in,
put it on and go do their thing,
and watch it on Twitch and mute it and walk off and just leave a device. And it's like, we appreciate the numbers. Nice to have you talk every now and then, but hey, lurk all you want. We'll make
Yep. So, Sucker said hi to Moon. Miss Tree says, I am reading seed packets at the moment. Ooh, gardening people with a name like Miss Tree. I can see that. I have given up on gardening.
I watered my plants the other day after a year of not watering them.
I'm just hoping to remember to water my blackberry bush enough that the berries are juicy instead of dried out husks this year.
Yeah.
If I can do that, I'll call it a win. I'm usually good with gardening until the end of June, and then it stops raining in Virginia, and it takes efforts, and I'm just done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Problem we've
Ooh,
always
mhm, go
problem
ahead.
we've always had with gardening is we just have a limited space on the front patio, and we put up boxes before, and usually they'll do really well at first, and then we have like nice bright sunny day, and they've got no shade, and everything just burns.
That would be the first 2 weeks of July in
Yeah.
the, like,
Oh,
DC metro region.
or just sometimes even the first week, 2 weeks of June, because it's like
Oh.
uh because
Usually,
I've
I don't
noticed
hit it to June.
no, I've noticed right around Memorial Day, it's like leading into Memorial Day, it's still nice springtime weather. I go off to Balticon. By the time I come out of the hotel, someone has turned all the heat on and summer is here.
Oh, right, definitely the heat, but, what I find really impacts it is when it stops raining for more than 2 weeks, which doesn't
Yeah,
usually happen until, like, the end of June.
this is true. We have had like flash floods over Memorial Day in the past. So
Yeah, yeah. So,
sorry, Ellicott City. Uh,
poor Ellicott City.
yeah,
I mean, they're kinda right on a creek, and then the developments went in with poor drainage and
yeah.
screwed them over.
It was really the development that screwed up all the drainage that they had working beautifully for over 100 years.
Decades? Yeah, yeah.
So.
Popping into the comments, Sarah's already got her video exporting, but it's complaining and being like, "I'm gonna take 3 hours because it's a jerk." Dwan is here to motivate himself to type up this new screen. You just wrote a new screenplay last week.
No, same screenplay, I
Oh.
assume. He wrote it by hand,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he
or,
he
like,
and
was
now he
edited
has to.
for
required as part of the contract, so no.
okay, okay. Sure. So oh, yeah. Ms. Tree says last year, June was really dry.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it wasn't usually the first 2 weeks. It's usually, like, midway to the end of June. It's not like
yeah.
June starts off dry. So,
Mhm.
anyway, we are 10-ish minutes in. I think it's time for a sprint.
I think that sounds great.
We could do that.
So, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chakalaka laka.
Boom, boom.
Boom. And we're back. How was your sprint?
It was fine.
Sure.
I got a little bit on my Substack. It's basically set up. I just have to fill in the text.
Gotcha.
I chatted on the serious authors only server.
Ooh.
No comical authors allowed.
Co-working only, chatting limited to breaks, and it just so happened that our sprint was happening during their break.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, "Hi guys, how's it going?"
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my sprint.
Cool. Doc?
I caught up with rereading where I left off last time and added like 150 new words to the scene. Kind of digging up Aunt Phyllis's motivations for all the things that she's done. So I'm happy with the way this is going. I just need to find a way to wrap it up.
Gotcha. And I just now finished cleaning up the voice to text sprint or whatever writing I did on the road yesterday. It was like a half-hour drive, and I got 903 words.
Hey, kick ass.
Yeah, I mean, when it's dialogue, it seems to go faster. I don't know, but there's definitely some stuff I need to fix, but not as much as I worried.
Okay. Did you have problems with stuff getting dropped in places?
2 seconds. Could you close the garage? Jim's about to swing by. Could you close the garage? Sorry. Thanks. The cat's on my lap and a friend is coming by. So.
But what?
He's on my toes right now, so I couldn't go over and close the garage door.
Oh, that makes sense. I was just asking, did you have sections from what you were dictating that were dropped?
There were
you had problems with it dropping words.
Yeah. No, it would drop like sections of sentences, and then I would have to repeat them. I only found 1 or 2 sections that were really missed, where a line had been dropped, because I noticed as I did. So.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I've always been concerned about with voice to text, that if you don't keep up the pace of talking, it stops listening.
I think the problem was more road noise than anything else, so it wasn't sure when I was talking and not. Like, it wasn't writing down road noise, but it wasn't like it was being very inconsistent.
Yeah, I just know that when I sit down and I have to write, I can basically compose about the same speed as I write, maybe a little faster. So I've got spare cycles in there to think ahead. But when I have to say it, I
slow down. It slows me down.
I'm not just saying the words. I'm thinking about how the character would say it. I'm actually acting the bloody character.
Sure.
And that changes the amount of processing I have to do with the little gray cells.
Yeah. I find I end up, when I'm doing voice to text, a lot more dialogue than anything else. For some reason, it lends itself to dialogue and not description or action or whatever when I'm doing it. So, and oh my god, the punctuation needed, like, hey, quote marks around stuff. Like, voice to text these days with quotes and unquotes are not as good as it used to be. There's a kitty on my toes. Sorry.
She's like, no, everyone needs to know this about me.
It keeps your toes warm.
Yeah, I turned on the fan in the house. That was me staring at my phone like, so let me pop into the comments. Sako was correct. Dwan did write his script last week by hand and is now typing it. Jenna's here. Hello, Jenna. Is working on cleaning tasks at the house and swung by to smack that like button. Thank you. Oh, hello, White Seer Gamer. My sprint did go really well. I cleaned up 900 words, so I'm calling that a win. Let's see. Sarah said I didn't do anything where I know what I did. I didn't keep track of where I started.
Yeah, I know those feels.
Yeah. So, White Seer Gaming, I think this is your first time hanging out with us. I am currently working on an urban fantasy with a mage, a vampire, and a female werewolf. And we're coming up on the climax. I'm 110,000 words into it right now. So, Doc, did you want to tell them what you're working on?
I'm in the midst of doing edits for my second novel, and I'm also coming up on the climax. I'm having a kind of a pre-climax where I tie up some emotional threads before dealing with the finale of the main threads of the story. So it's all payoff time here.
Yay! I'm trying to remind myself, this is the climax of the book. Remember, Morgan, do not dodge the conflict. Do not be like, oh, and instead we're going to go this. No, face off, fight. Yes, no, really. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I like whir through the conflict of the climax, and then I have to write the denouement or the falling action and all of that jazz, and I'm like, but that means the story's over, and then I have to like divorce my characters, and I'm not ready to divorce my characters.
That's the fun of writing a series. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even do it romance style, where you do secondary characters as the main ones, and you're loving people as background characters if you don't want to mess with their relationship.
As meddling background characters.
Meddling. So, what stories are you working on right now? I know Sunday's your Substack day, but are you still working on your Sapphic?
I am working on my Sapphic and slowly working on my fairy story for Beltane. I don't think I'm going to make the deadline. Yeah, I might finish it someday and consider it a cozy,
sure.
like horror story or a cozy
You're talking
drama.
to the person who wrote cozy sci-fi. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So, and this is the first story I've ever written that didn't have a conflict so severe with such high stakes, like ever.
Ooh.
So,
that means it has to be a lot more character driven, right?
Right.
If the plot's not where the action is, it's got to be the emotional turmoil.
It's got to be the emotional turmoil, and
if the stakes aren't high, they're often personal, which may mean
is still high. It's just a smaller, more high stakes for a smaller subset of people.
Yeah, smaller scale, but
yes, that
more
one.
Intense.
Sure. So let me pop into the comments real quick. Miss Tree is going to begin with dwarf organ inside oregano. I think that was supposed to be oregano because she's doing starter seeds.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
JDC writes, RPG is working on a Silent Hill fan game. Oh, that's super fun. Sarah agrees. JDC says learning Ren'Py is really cool, but it's slow going for someone who hasn't done any scripting since the late 1990s. I don't know Ren'Py, but I do have a favorite YouTube series for Python brushing up. So if you want that, I can link drop it. So Duan sorted through 191 words. Nicely done. Rita finished the Canva play and recorded her tarot cards from the full moon in her journal, and now she can edit. Yay.
So cool.
Yeah, and White Seer Gaming is toe deep in a sci-fi or science fantasy novel. Yes! First time writer, yes! Based on a Shadowrun type world, yes!
Yes! I'm a huge fan of Shadowrun and similar games.
A month ago, I've been Facebook friends since college, but I don't think I've actually talked to my Shadowrun GM in like 5, maybe 10 years. I dropped into his DMs to be like, hey, I was like gushing about your GM capabilities again. And also, was there a way we could have avoided a character's death at the end?
Of course, it's during your best story.
So, I played a Decker, which is a hacker, and neither I nor the combat characters were ever left sitting there twiddling our thumbs for more than like 2-3 minutes. Like he kept the action high and kept all of us engaged at the same time, rather than combat people versus decking people is like two different like things. And I hear that's really challenging to do, and so I talk about what a great GM he was all the time. So anyway, I gave him a shout out.
Yay!
In DMs at like 11:30 at night, like a month ago, and he's like, "Thanks."
Thanks.
And Seer Gaming says, "Yeah, so much conflict. I hear that.
I
Oh,
hear
I'm so
that.
excited." And science fantasy, yeah, space fantasy, same sort of thing. I got you, Bab. Got you, Bab.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, the timer went off.
Yeah, I'm right. Steampunk. So I'm right behind you with science fantasy.
Yeah.
You're just a little bit later down the timeline than I am.
Sure. No gas lamp fantasy. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started in a 3, 2, 1. Boom. One day that will not be funny.
But that day is not today.
And the sprint's done. How was your sprint?
My sprint was good. I was reviewing a video that I took at my performance last night.
Yeah.
So that I can put it in my newsletter so that I can write about the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Nice. Doc?
I'm still working over this scene. I've ended another 130 words.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. So nice. I reworked a couple things in the bits that I cleaned up last time, adding in, because I was trying to get an accurate word count before I started adding in new stuff. So yesterday was 903, and today so far 251 while doing some edits and cleanup.
Oh, cool.
Not sad. Not sad.
Not sad.
So, and I had a Reese's little egg
thing. Yeah.
And I had a lint of the, what is this? The cake? Birthday cake, yeah.
Oh.
Don't tell me that.
Sorry.
I need to not to have the fat pills. But that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And water. I drank my whole cup of water.
Mm-hmm.
Hydrate or dihydrate. Yeah.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
True facts.
I was just say I did get some jelly beans from the grocery store, but I haven't opened the bag because it's like I need like a bowl or something to put them in, and otherwise I will treat the bag as a single serving.
I have a bad habit called hand to mouth, where if it's within reach, it goes in the mouth.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I have, if you want to eat candy the fancy way, do you know what the fancy way is? Instead of a bowl, use like a wine glass. Then you feel like all elitist, but also eating candy.
Okay.
That's fair.
I was thinking of something at least with the lid, so I can like, okay, I've had enough of that, and put the lid on it.
Oh! I thought you were like single serving, and then like have the others not within reach.
No, I just I want something that I can put the whole contents of the bag in and be able to seal it off when I've decided.
Sure. That's what lock lids or Tupperware is for.
Yeah, I have to be my own bartender.
The struggle is real. So, let's see here. Andy is here. Hi, Andy. He showed up just in time for a sprint. He finished a course. Nice. What courses are you doing? Are you doing like great courses in writing or something else entirely? I don't even know. Sarah wrote like 119 words and was messing around somewhere else. Andy, as the overachiever he is, managed to get 200 words written in that sprint. Miss Tree is hoping to propagate the borage she wintered over. I don't know what borage is.
That's got to be a plant thing, because
it is a plant thing,
and maybe a typo. Because on phone typing is awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's an orange. I don't know. What's a borage?
A borage.
Oh, it is a plant.
It's a plant. Yeah.
Oh, they're like star-shaped blue flowers. Okay. Yay! Andy was doing a writing course on improving your productivity offered by a romance writing group. Awesome.
Okay.
So has the writing romance group drama settled down?
I wouldn't know. I heard terrible things, but
it was really sad because romance writers like have been such a strong group for so many decades, and then like last year or something there was some weird drama and racism and I don't even know, and I was just like not going there.
They
interracial relationships were being shat on. And there are those that are like, no, interracial relationships don't apply to me. Therefore, I'm not going to read those books. And there are those that are like, but inclusion. So
And also, I read gay romance, and that doesn't
also
apply
that,
to me.
also that. What's the difference? Like,
It's like
Sheesh.
reading is a great way to learn about things that don't directly apply to yourself. But,
And I like to read fantasy, and let me tell you, magic sadly has not impacted my life in the ways I would like it to. So,
yeah.
I mean, I have had no dragon friends. I can't like snap my fingers and have the kitchen cleaned or dinner ready. Like, I mean,
no, I haven't found the spells to make that a thing either, other than like I don't remember the process. Like, that's the best I can do.
And
But I do have a dragon friend.
Yeah. Let's face it, if any woman
That's
out
pretty
there has
awesome.
found a way to get woodland creatures to come into her house and do all of her chores for her, she's not talking about it.
I mean, hear me out. Sometimes you just redefine chores to mean poop and pee on everything, and then yes, they've done all my chores, which is not something I aspire to ever do.
No.
That might be a reason she's not talking about that.
Yeah.
No.
I like my things not smelling like urine. So,
I did a thumbs up, and my phone didn't, or my Computron didn't do the.
I think you have to hold it for a couple seconds, but I'm on a PC, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
There you go. Yep.
Nice. And Doc got like a thumbs up little display thing. Yep. That was new, I think.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
that was
cool.
The first one that I discovered was the thumbs up. Because I do this when I scratch.
Sarah's like, what? Why are you talking about urine? We were talking about ways in which woodland creatures can come into your house and help with your chores. And I said, if you redefine chores to mean like defecating everywhere, then yes. Going back to like way more on topic things, Andy said it was a different group for the it's much smaller and run by several authors he knows. It's called Passionate Inc. Ooh. And Miss Tree is like, ooh, all the tea. So, oh yeah, we can tell you some writing world drama because there's always some. I usually try not to get involved, but I do try to at least tangentially stay aware of what's happening in the industry.
I would like to be aware of it.
We don't necessarily talk about bad behavior by other authors, but we listen.
It's a small world after all.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, okay. We're about to have like a big conflict in my book. I'm very excited and proud of myself and trying really hard not to dodge. Like, no, these people have to stay here. They can't run away. We're 110,000 words in. The conflict needs to start happening.
Any day now.
So, yeah. Ms. Tree says taxes are dramatic but confidential. Sometimes they are not. I prefer it when they're not dramatic.
Yeah.
So, we have some time left on the sprint or the break. So maybe it's time for a quick stretch.
I just popped my back in 3 places.
Oh, like that, yeah. And of course, one of the advantages of taking the time to stretch and turn around is discovering that you've got Ghirardelli squares next to you.
That's a trip.
I may have flicked people off. I went like this instead of this, which means something entirely different. Are you okay?
I was wondering how you did that.
I was still stretching my fingers and my brain wasn't online yet.
That is
And I think I
funny.
wanted to do peace or rock. Yeah.
And it turned into
Which is the middle finger in Britain, right?
Something like that.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was the legend has it that
Mhm.
it was laughing at the fucking
French.
archers
Yep.
with
Right.
the
Look, I still have both my archery fingers.
Yes.
Mhm,
Very important thing when you want to piss off the Brits and they're
mhm.
fighting against you.
Oh.
It was the French.
Give me the bees.
Maybe the Brits will help us. Maybe the Brits will rescue us from Trump. No, sorry, not that kind of stream.
Nope.
Sorry.
This is not the stream you're looking for.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's time to do some writing.
Yeah,
We're
let's
ready
do.
for another or productivity or snack or nap. This is Sunday afternoon. You do whatever you're feeling up to. Somebody wants to fold laundry, you do that. You just want to eat chocolate or read a book, you do that. But I'm going to work on this manuscript in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chakalaka. And we're back. How was your sprint?
Fast. That seemed real fast.
I
I
think
kind
we
of.
said it's 20, right?
You did, right? Yeah.
So
Time word by. I finished my Substack and posted it in a couple of places. I'm gonna post it in a couple more while we talk. And yeah. So it went well for me.
nice. Doc?
I added another 170 words. I've added 500 words to this over the course of today. But I'm wrapping up this part of the scene, and what have I got? I've got come on, select. I've got like 300 words left for the end of the chapter, so I think I'm gonna see about pushing on and wrapping this up tonight.
Ooh, nice. The chapter or the whole thing?
The chapter. I still have 3 chapters after this, but
okay.
But still, you're coming.
Yeah.
Coming close.
I'm coming down to the end, and it's like once I get to the end, then I go and poke my cover artist, and then I start on the cleanup pass. And yeah, I mean, this could potentially come back together. I was originally thinking about sending it back to the editor just for another pass to make sure I haven't messed up anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm gonna do that this time.
I got you.
I will probably ask my wife to give it a read through. Just
it's good to have someone in your beta corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or your alpha corner, so that you can.
Like, she has the dubious advantage of hearing me talk things out with her, so she's got some familiarity with the story.
Sure.
But she hasn't read any of the words yet.
I see.
And she's lying here and saying, "You didn't talk to me about
that." Right?
So. That's so funny. I wish my husband would read my work, but he won't go anywhere near it.
Yep. No, she's read my other book. She's reread my other book a couple times.
Nice.
But I don't know that you've read any of the short stories.
Some of them.
She's read some of the short stories, but
okay.
She's a voracious reader. She reads lots.
Sure. So I got 153 words and got through the notifications on at least 3 of my Discord servers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I haven't sat at my desk in a couple of days. So let me pop into the comments.
Where did we go bad?
Yeah, right?
Instant karma.
Yep.
Duan says, the amount of times someone says, it's not that kind of stream, it might as well be. Make it a drinking game then.
Make it a drinking game. That's a great idea. Yeah. Make it a drinking game every time someone says,
oh god,
it's not that kind of channel.
It's not that kind of stream. Yeah.
That's somewhere between 0 and 5 times the stream.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 0 and 5 times.
If it was that kind of stream, we'd have to have it on a completely different platform.
Maybe a paywall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have to get cool with a bunch of stuff real quickly.
I'm not cool with y'all that much. I'm not that cool with y'all. Just saying. So Andy bounced because Tellus, his kitty, was telling the whole house that he was dying without his wet food. Catticus did get gushy food first sprint. I mean, I'm not a monster.
You're not a monster.
And Andy got another 200 words, so went to feed the cat and heat up dinner.
Okay.
Missed the last break to chat, but hopefully is catching this one. Juan was doing other things other than writing, but did get 92 words typed. If he had a fully working keyboard, it might have been more. Do you need a keyboard?
Yes.
Like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or plug-in? Because I got spare keyboards in my house.
Bluetooth would probably be best for him. I assume.
Okay.
He needs his laptop is doing the same shit my last laptop did to me,
really?
where the keys aren't doing their my bidding. So
I have a keyboard that's not working so great because I bought a typewriter yesterday. I bought a Type 5 Underwood typewriter, and the company went out of business in 1968. So I have no clue how old it is. I was in an antique store. It happened. It looked pretty. But it does have some keys that stick. And probably hasn't been cleaned in Exactly.
I'm working with a brand new keyboard that I basically got, I think, in December. And when I'm typing, doing text, no problem. Everything goes fine. It's, typo problems. When I'm gaming, then it's like, why is this key sticking? Why does it keep repeating this? Why does it not unlock? And I hit that key. Why didn't it register? And it's like, I think it's the game software rather than the keyboard.
Oh no.
Maybe
it's the speed of the tap. I don't know. Anyway, I had to cover my mouth because I really wanted to cut in. Fun fact about typewriters, apparently, depending on how they're calibrated, if you're driving down a gravel driveway with the typewriter in the back, it might think some of the keys are hitting, and then you hear the ding when it hits the end of the line. The row. It was typing while I was driving, and nothing was hitting it because it was like all in the middle of the back, the trunk all by itself. Just being like,
that is a trip.
And I couldn't record it for you because I was driving, and the driving noises would have recorded more than the typing noises in the trunk from like the driver's seat. But it was hilarious, and I wanted to share it with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. It is obviously quite the relief to tell us that story.
I was so excited. Oh, okay. Where was I? Miss Tree has resurrected and is back at the computer. White Seer Gaming says no one in their household is interested in what they're trying to write about. Womp womp. Yeah. That's sad.
I thought my family didn't give a shit, but my dad supported me while I was writing Hope's Chest. Like, he sent me jewelry that said, "You got this," and support from afar, and my mom, I gave her a copy of Hope's Chest.
Yeah.
And she shared it with all her nurses. She shared it with this lady, with all the patients, like the other patients. There was one who has a book club who wants to feature it in their book club.
Oh, nice.
Like, through my mom.
Aww.
Who
is so judgy.
She usually laughs at me, right? Because she does the same stuff, but at a higher caliber, right? So,
does
like,
she
writing.
Share her work?
She does not share her work.
Do we know?
I get to read it. Okay. I get to read it, and it's good.
Okay.
Like, her prose is all right. Okay. It takes her a minute to get started. Like, she starts out by writing the beats, and then she actually breaks into the story. So structure is not a thing for her, but for a pantser, like, she's phenomenal.
Wow.
And there's no end.
Yeah, no.
Like, she's been working on the same story for like 15, 20 years. Like,
oh goodness.
Like, binders and binders and binders.
It's a serial.
It is. It's a serial. It's based on a AD&D game back in the 90s.
She's still writing it up. How long did the game run for? Or is it just inspired by the characters and then
inspired and continued with?
Okay.
And another series she was working on was based off of a game that I ran her through, characters that she created from my game. And she likes to time travel in her writing. So like how do I put this? She I don't know how to describe this. The way she writes is like yawns, instead of like Sally met Jane. Like it's talking about like how humanity is evolving and like they're starting to inhabit other planets while they're using magic and like that kind of writing. And yeah, I'm proud of my mom, but I wasn't expecting her to be proud of me.
Aww.
Like, what? Didn't mean for it to be therapy hour, but here we are.
Yeah, but there's also the whole, you're not just writing, but you're putting yourself out there, and that's a step further than she's done. Even if she, RPs with herself and can write 10K in a day.
Right, exactly.
So
Miss I write 100K in a day on a good day. Like
I can't even type that fast. I did.
She types really fast.
I did 4K in a day once, and my hand hurt so bad.
I did 7K in a day, but I did it. I knew exactly what I was writing.
Sure.
Right. All my beats were set up. I didn't have to do any real thinking. I just, yeah. So, and I was aiming for a 10K day. And I'm sorry, I just noticed that Doc lost his power for a minute.
No, I'm working. I'm working with something, and it's actually changing the lights when I'm trying to tell it to change the behavior when something gets pressed.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't think we have time for another sprint. I think we're just gonna hang out in the chat.
I think that's wise. So, I have 3 or more D&D inspired novels in this old brain of mine. D&D books are some of the best to write. RPG lit. Mwah.
Yeah, lit RPG is getting to be huge.
Yep. And the funny thing is that it's just as much fun to read as it is to write. At least that's how I feel like it should be.
If you've done it well.
If you've done it well, yeah. Like if you're RPing by yourself and you record it in some fashion, like you write it into a book or whatever, then the reader gets to experience that adventure.
Fun fact, Laurel K. Hamilton's first book was definitely lit RPG. It's called
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. It was.
So let me pop into the comments back a little bit. Okay, so Sarah got somewhere between 100 and 400 words, but it's kind of flaky right now. That's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah. JDC got a really great pick from Pexels for one of their scarier looking characters, and so happy. Bless public domain photography.
Wow.
Dwan says, I think my keyword needs to be cleaned. Maybe I'll take it apart sometime after the move. How long until the move?
End of March. It should be
a couple more weeks.
Should be nailed in stone. Like,
okay. Fingers crossed.
No.
Mitch Tree says machine oil would probably... Yeah. Step 1 with the typewriters to clean it before I oil it. So
Yeah.
we're not just greasing,
Not put oil over dirt. Yeah.
yeah, because that'll just wear down the metal eventually.
Yep.
So Dwan is looking into a Bluetooth one, but also wants a desktop. I mean, you can have a Bluetooth keyboard with anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
mhm.
these days, most Bluetooth keyboards will actually come with like a USB cable, so that you can actually plug it in and have it corded, and then if you need it, unplug it and move the keyboard wherever, and it'll connect via Bluetooth.
Oh, I'm used to just having the USB dongle.
It depends. I mean,
That's what I use for my
So-
mouse.
I got this mouse, and it's like it's got a USB dongle that comes with it, but it's also hooked in via cable. And most of the time, I have it plugged in.
Except for right now.
I just gotta go
Right now,
into
when
how dongle is the silliest tech word. That
Yeah.
is correct. Okay, that and like the technical term
Someone.
for
Oh.
the bumps on the home keys.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's nipples.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the technical on the home row. Oh, I don't have it on this keyboard.
Huh.
They got rid of it on the newer laptops. The little bumpies on home row.
Do they
Between the
expect you not
G
to
and
be
the H.
touch typing?
Oh no, there's one bumpy on the J.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
So you can find home row.
I have a new laptop, like after the whole watering incident of 2024, and it's got the bumps on the home keys on the for the
Yeah.
pointer fingers.
My new keyboard doesn't have the bump so much as it's
Oh
got
yeah,
a
there's
ridge-
one on the F too.
It's
Yeah.
got a ridge at the bottom of the key.
Yeah.
I had a Bluetooth keyboard that did not, and you know what I did? I took clear nail polish and put a little
dollop
cool on them. So
that's one way around it. Getting enamel and just
Yep. So popping into the comments, Ms. Tree learned to type on a very old Royal typewriter. They just feel different. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're mechanical. You gotta push those keys. It's a lot more work for the fingers. So White Seer Gaming had their 9-year-old read the first chapter, but the eldest and the wife were not interested. But the 9-year-old started Lord of the Rings. So yeah. I started Lord of the Rings when I was 9, and I made it halfway, a third of the way into Two Towers and stopped and never went back. So
I read all of them when I was about 9. Yeah. I read The Hobbit when I was 5.
I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Oh.
I think I read The Hobbit when I was 5, and then my parents were like, "Oh, but there's more." And so most of my childhood was spent reading Lord of the Rings outside of my normal reading hours.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom instilled this thing where I had to read,
Nice.
And it's illustrated. I read something similar. Yeah, it was
David, my sister and I,
it was the Rankin Bass art. It was a Rankin Bass art book, but it was The Hobbit written as the book with the illustrations from the movie. So I was enamored.
I don't know if this is from the movie or not. I think they just had an artist do it. Yeah, because the art style doesn't look like the animated Rankin Bass.
No, it's not the same book.
Mm. So, anyway, comments. Right. I was just very excited because I recently stole that copy back from my sister because my roommate's kid is 10 and had started reading it with their dad, I think. So,
Cool.
Sarah says that her husband is a writer and an editor for work, so he only reads if he has time, and she doesn't bug him if he's swamped with work stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ms. Tree said that it sounds like a great read. I'm not sure if she's talking about White Seer Gaming or Sako's book they were talking about. Unclear.
Or both.
Yeah. I feel that way. I know we were a couple of questions back or comments back, but
Yeah.
I feel that way about my husband regarding like learning anything Adobe.
Sure.
Like he does that for work every day. Like
Yeah.
maybe when he's not in finals, like maybe not during portfolio review, like maybe don't ask him for a tutorial on how to do something.
Yeah. So, popping into the comments, we already talked about White Seer Gaming's 3 more D&D inspired novels. White Seer Gaming just played a 3-shot, and the character backstory was worthy of a series, to be honest.
Yes, those are the best.
But they just don't think they're up to the task to write it yet. Yeah.
Write as much of it as you can, like,
or at least outline
as it stands. That's basically what I am about to. Yeah.
Don't worry about writing all of it. Just make an installment, and you can always put it all together
later. Mm-hmm.
Because as you write it, you become better at writing.
Yeah. So let's see. Duan says, technically the stories of my book were for a D&D game. Nice.
That is true, and it shows, which is great.
Awesome. Let's see. Miss Tree says, I like to use those clackety keyboards. Yes, but there's still a whole lot less effort and travel distance than this typewriter I have.
Yeah.
Because it's moving a mechanical thing, although it might be less effort once it gets cleaned, but right now it's dunk. And if you don't hit it hard enough, it doesn't slam onto the paper. Because
the oh so short-lived electronic typewriters, we had one by brother, and it was I had grown up on a manual typewriter.
Sure, yeah.
That's how I learned to type. And then that came out, and it was like going from a clackety clack to a Mac keyboard, it was like, wow, this is so nice. There's no distance, and it doesn't hurt my knuckles after like a sentence and stuff like that.
So when I learned to type in junior high, it was with a manual typewriter, but my dad had a Selectric electric typewriter at home.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what I used whenever I had to type up papers for English class.
Yeah.
I'd literally sit down on that sucker the night before and just pound the whole thing out.
My stepdad liked to build computers, and he was better with hardware than software, or so he said, except for the time he installed a motherboard backwards and fried it. And then we had to wait 6 months to a year and a half before like his budget built up so he could replace it. So we would occasionally have a computer and occasionally not at home until I was about 12, and then we had one that was solid, and like Dell or something. And there was the time he closed the case on the printer cable back when they were the ribbons and sliced through it.
Lovely.
Right? So I do remember one of the times the computer was out of commission, using Mom had a word processor that would show like 3 lines or something like that. And you could scroll up and down, and then it would like print
Brother
it out.
was the same way.
Yeah. So the word processors weren't bad at all. But like I didn't learn keyboarding technically until like 10th grade when my hand was finally big enough to reach all the keys. I think teaching keyboarding to kids until their hands are big enough to hit all the keys is a bit of a struggle. But I think touch typing really is a skill that is still useful. Even if people like to on their phone all the time. So let me pop back into the comments. I was mocking dongle as a term. White Seer Gamer says, yeah, they should be on the F and J. Yeah, those are the home keys where the pointer fingers go. Mystery color codes her USB plugs with color nail polish. That's awesome.
You know what? I should do the same thing.
Yeah. I should hop over to Twitch and block somebody real quick. Mystery also read Loader when she was 11-ish. And Mystery took typing in high school on an electric. From the
electric.
From the secretarial selection. Most lucky thing ever. Oh, nice. So, well, we are at time. So tell everybody who you are, where they can find you, and yeah. Let's do it.
Hey, folks. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voigt. I am a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats, but predominantly I am an illustrator. And this past week I released a bunch of dark art. So if you are interested in dark art, or hiring me to do dark art for you, custom, then please to be checking out my Substack, checking out my Facebook, checking out my Blue Sky. And you can Google me at Sako Toomey or Psycho Sako. Yeah, drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Awesome.
And I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you would like to find out more about what I'm doing with Mad Science, Manners, and Mayhem, you can go to your favorite search engine and you can search on Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that will help you find my website at doccoleman.com. It'll also help you find my Amazon author page, where you can see samples of all the works that I've got in print and decide if they're right for you. And if you happen to be at the Telltale Steampunk Festival in Pikesville, Maryland in 2 weeks, you will find me there in the vendor room.
Ooh. And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I have blogged, vlogged, and podcasted writing tips and writerly musings with writing tips from the pros and my own writerly musings since 2014, I think. You can find about 10 years worth of content out there on my website, morganhazelwood.com. About 8 years worth of plus live streams on my YouTube at youtube.com/morganhazelwood. I've been live streaming since, I think, 2020, every Sunday from 4:30 to 6:30 Eastern time. I think I've missed maybe once a quarter, usually with these great people with me. I will be at RavenCon this year, but I don't think anybody else got their application in, or the timing wasn't right for them.
Yeah.
So.
A few years ago, I got off track with how RavenCon's processing applications. So hopefully I can make it back for next year, but I don't.
Fingers crossed.
Don't think I'm going to get this year.
Yeah, they don't let you do 3 years in a row. So last year was my off year, but I should be back this year. I usually don't go if I'm not paneling, just because of the cost and the time and whatever. But yeah, and I also, if you check out my Redbubble shop, I have shirts like this for snack-fueled writers and other writer and gaming swag like that if you need any. So yeah, have a great rest of your week. Good luck with your projects if you're working on anything, and eat snacks. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.